Morobe MPs calling for a seat at the table on Wafi-Golpu. Student arsonist caught in Port Moresby. And world coffee importers helping local coffee growers.
This is National EMTV News with Morobe Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Wednesday's news. Members of Parliament from the Morobe province are demanding a better deal from the Wafi-Golpu mining project. Speaking in lay, they expressed disappointment that the discussions of the future mine were taken to Kokopo by the Mineral Resources Authority. The MPs, including Governor Ginson Saunu, Bulolo MP Sam Basil, and Lay's John Rosso, said Morobe should be given the opportunity and ample time to present a petition to the government instead of being isolated from the process.
Morobe province hasn't yet presented its position in relation to the Wafi-Golpu project. Morobe MPs say they feel the process is being bulldozed by the Mineral Resource Authority. On Monday, 6 of the 9 MPs gathered in Ley for a news conference stating their position publicly. They're now working on a package that takes into account the tax benefits, special support grants and royalties to landowners.
Any money that comes, whether it's a district grant, it's royalties, or it's DSIP or PSIP, the same process applies.
They also want to see a draft contract agreement before it is signed by the head of state. Wafi-Golpu is a project that's set to become a topic of fiery discussions on many fronts. Tempers flared during a mining summit held in Ley last month. Ahi landowners, whose land will also be affected in the project, demanded to have a better representation in the discussions. At the alluvial mining summit held in Ley yesterday, the Morobe governor reiterated the position, saying the regulator, MRA, shouldn't ignore the most important stakeholder in the project, the Morobe province.
MRA, you have been vested with legal jurisdiction, overriding resource owners and provincial governments, but that does not give you the right to ignore us.
Yesterday at Wafi, a delegation led by the Bulolo MP Sam Basil travelled to the mine impact area for NID registrations. While this is a seemingly small event, it represents the pressure placed on landowners to have some form of legal identification before the incorporated land groups can be registered.
So this plan now, process now, and by helping me plan, help him all, make sure that all the registering ILG blow, now only can look sabelo.
And it's against this backdrop that the Morobe MPs are raising demands for meaningful participation. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Ley.
A community in Moran on the borders of Hela and Southern Highlands is slowly rebuilding after the massive earthquake earlier this year. Moran Special Purpose Authority Chairman Anthony Hamaka says people need support from all levels of government to rebuild their lives. MSPA has invested in a 4-kilometer road connecting displaced villages in Power 1 and rebuilding damaged classrooms for a heavily populated school.
Almost 6 months after the 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck the highlands of Papua New Guinea, people in remote areas of Hela and Southern Highlands remain displaced. The Power community lost everything and they were forced to move to another location to continue their lives. President of Moran Special Purpose Authority Anthony Hamaka wants these people connected to other services by building a road into the area.
So I think more like resettlement, have area like I think Busna, working Nubla house area came road again. So I think we can help more walking road come inside. Now being by walking house road.
The 4-kilometer road will connect this community to central locations and will cost around 800,000 kina. A local community leader says this means a lot to them as they say the national government has turned a blind eye on delivering services in the area.
This is a heavy problem in the national government now. Some are going to have the people.
Many of the displaced have remained traumatized and still mourn for those who lost their lives during the tragedy. Visiting the people, Chairman Amaka showed MSPA's commitment in helping the people. Work has also begun on rebuilding Homo Power Primary School with an allocation of 100,000. Mobilization has already commenced for the road works. Benaria Airstrip and Pimaga Health Center will also receive assistance to equip the health facility and restore third-level airline services into the area.
We're working helipad plus over by Kampudan one. I'm feeling free to have. I'm looking at the moment, the making so organizing Mondia. Gathering the making sabros at me, putting on 10,000 low. Handbogan low. Scaling now. How much more? Give more. How much more?
Jack Lapave Jr. National EMTV News.
Finally, a business studies student of Divine Word University was found dead this morning at the back of the school's business studies building. At the crime scene, the body of the student was seen hanging with his neck tied by 2 separate cables. However, Madang police are treating it as a murder case, given the circumstances surrounding his death. Police say the manner in which he was found hanging has raised suspicion, and an investigation will be carried out to determine the cause of death. Divine Word University is yet to release an official statement on this incident. Meanwhile, the student accused of burning down a newly built double-story classroom at Kila Kila Secondary School in Port Moresby has been caught. The Million Kina classroom, built recently to accommodate the growing number of students in the Moresby South electorate, was reduced to ashes, allegedly by a student last week. Moresby South MP Jasin Tichenko applauded the efforts of Bareilly police in apprehending the suspect.
I would like to say a big thank you to the Badilli Police Command here in Moresby South for their decisive and quick action in catching the culprit that burnt down the 2-story 4-classroom school building at Kila Kila Secondary School. The culprit is now in police custody. He's going through the normal procedures of being arrested and charged for his actions. And unfortunately for me, this is one of the students that Governor and I fund through our Tibet program. So it's really, really disappointing that here we are trying to educate our kids, and the ones we are educating are the ones that unfortunately burnt this building down, that have destroyed the education and the school infrastructure for everybody concerned at Kila Kila High School. So the most important thing here is, if you're going to break the law, we don't care who you are, we'll ensure we get you, lock you up, and you pay for the consequences of your actions. We can't have people like that in our community running around burning down public infrastructure which is there to help promote education and also the well-being of our future generations. And for me, it was supporting the Badilli Police Command, and I thank them for their tireless efforts in getting all the witnesses together, finding out who it was, and arresting them today. Great result, but unfortunately we still have a school that's burnt down that Governor and I will have to rebuild again and waste money on, where it should be going somewhere else. So otherwise, the culprit's being caught, but we want to make sure this never ever happens again.
The National Court in Kundiawa, Chimbu Province, has acquitted Commerce and Industry Minister Wera Mori and 2 senior police officers of criminal charges last Friday. Justice Daniel Leosi dismissed the charges of stealing with violence, official corruption, obstruction, willful disaffection to other members of the police force, and bribery. Mr. Mori was charged along with 2 police officers for allegedly stealing files of the Chuave District Treasury from a purported police investigation team and obstruction. The court found that Mr. Mori was not in the province during the incident and that there was a lack of evidence. Speaking after the decision, Mr. Mori said with the end of this chapter, he will go back to performing his duties as elected MP. A landowner association in Gulf Province is fighting to defend their SABL title and is also claiming the government acted in a fraudulent manner against them. The Purari Development Association spoke out after another group had similar titles to their piece of land, which constitutes 9 big lands that govern about 11 hectares. They have expressed concerns of shutting down the Papua LNG and Purari Hydro projects. The leaders say the interests of the people will be the organization's priority, which the government is yet to respond to.
And now they're pushing these projects full steam ahead, and we feel that it may be strategic because the PDA title disturbs the process of the Papua LNG project. They have to make this announcement to cancel our SABL publicly, damaging our efforts over 44 years to participate in this project, damaging our efforts to prepare documents such as this, to put the landowners on the front foot for the first time and participate and get benefits.
When he was first asked by the governor of Gulf Province, Chris Iveta, that it was cancelled. When we met him face to face, he said, no, it is not cancelled. I want him to come out publicly and say it was, because we, as people of Baimuru, believe in the SABA title that we have.
Any reasonable government will consider her people foremost important. In our case, we are the least developed. Now we're going to carry Papua New Guinea until maybe the end of the world. Government, with the likes of Prime Minister, must consider our cry. We cannot be suppressed too long.
Here with Wednesday's news still ahead, New Zealand and Australia coffee importers in Lae to test coffee quality, and ECP Governor Alan Bird says agriculture is key. We'll have those stories and more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. 2 coffee importers from New Zealand and Australia were in Lae yesterday to test coffee from 2 cooperatives in Morobe and Milne Bay provinces. Fairtrade PNG helps connect the coffee buyers from overseas with farmers and the cooperatives. Fairtrade Australia and New Zealand has been working with coffee cooperatives in PNG for over 8 years, providing support for producer organizations and helping to improve coffee revenue.
The 2 New Zealand companies, Kokako Coffee Roasters and John Burton Coffee Traders, visited Lae yesterday to test Union Coit coffee from Wasu in Finchefan District, Morobe, and Nanuma coffee from Daga in Milne Bay Province. Kokako Coffee Roaster imports PNG coffee through John Burton Limited, the biggest green bean importer in New Zealand. The company's managing director, Mike Murphy, told MTV News in Lae that their relationship with PNG through coffee began 8 years ago.
So we buy coffee from Hoak and Ununkoit in Papua New Guinea, but we also buy coffee from Ethiopia, from Colombia, from Honduras. But Papua New Guinea coffee is by far the largest amount of coffee that we buy.
Murphy and his team visited Union Coit Cooperative in Wasu, Finchefan District. They stayed there for 4 days to see the challenges faced by the coffee farmers before returning to Lae on Monday.
We have just travelled from Wasu through to Kaboom and onto Dirim here in Morobe province, and the roads were extremely challenging. We're obviously in your famous Toyota Land Cruiser that everyone seems to drive here, and we were on limestone roads, and those roads were in very poor condition. So that's just us travelling to meet the farmers. If you turn that around and you consider the challenge of bringing your parchment to market and then getting that to consumers, the farmers are working incredibly hard to bring their coffee to market.
These overseas companies came to know the coffee farmers and cooperative from the isolated areas in PNG through Fairtrade Australia and New Zealand in PNG. They helped the cooperative become Fairtrade certified. That will assist them gain better access to the coffee market, improve production and the quality of beans. There are currently 9 cooperatives under Fairtrade. 6 are certified and 3 are yet to be certified.
Fairtrade is like the glue that keeps everyone together. And the way we do that is through a set of international best practice, if you like. That garden management is going to be done properly, coffee work has to be done properly in conjunction, in harmony with the environment, that we do this in a human rights way approach. So gender equality, children's rights, and also issues around good governance.
Farmers in cooperative now have access to market their produce overseas through Fair Trade Australia and New Zealand. Agma Coffee in Lae is the main exporter of the coffee cooperative certified under Fair Trade.
Currently we're working with Untitled Fair Trade. We've exported around 5 containers already of Untitled Fair Trade. That's from January till this month, and we're looking at probably 2 or 3 more containers before the end of the year.
Now as I'm creating Untitled cooperative, now I'm plenty farmers come inside. Now some exporters and the deal one time like Egg now the deal one time Sally exporting coffee go out.
Nenema Cooperative is one of that last in pre-applicant that is involved in right now. Has been beginning to bring his coffee out to expose to the market with the assistance of Fair Trade, and we are getting now to known by other companies in New Zealand. And today is very fortunate that we have come here to bring the sample for 2018 coffee to sample it out.
Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Lae.
ECPIC Governor Alan Bird says the ECPIC provincial government is pushing forward with expanding its cocoa expansion program. This is part of a results-driven strategy to get more people into agriculture and create more disposable incomes in communities. Alan Bird has been in agriculture for over 20 years, and since being elected, he has allocated resources to expanding agriculture projects in ECPIC.
When the people are making money from cocoa, what's the first thing they're going to want to do? They're going to want to eat meat, right? And CPICs, because of our culture, we're fish people. We love fish. Guess where they're going to get the fish from? They're going to buy it from the people on the coast. They're going to buy it from the people on the river. When they do, the demand for fish is going to go up. The price of fish is going to go up. So you create a local market economy. Then suddenly my islands people, because the people on the mainland are making money, they got disposable income, they're suddenly buying everything the people on the island can produce. You've got a spinning economy. Everyone's benefiting. But without that, you can't do much. We can't sit around waiting for, handouts to come from Waigani. We've got a handout culture right now. And CPICs are not built for handouts. It ruins us. So I want CPICs to go back to a period in time where they're working for the food they're putting on their table. Because that's how their grandfather did it.
Hela Province has embarked on getting its people into agriculture through an ambitious public-private partnership. The project, led by Innovative Agro Industry, aims to have close to 5,000 farmers in the 3 electorates of Taripori, Komamagarima and Koroba Kopiago participate in a large-scale commercial agriculture project connecting vegetable farmers to markets. The partnership signing took place in Moro on Tuesday, with the PNG LNG project and MRDC also parties to this agreement. Phase 1 of this agreement will see a feasibility study undertaken, as well as the establishment of training facilities and the finalization of financial arrangements and commercial venture structure.
So let's think agriculture. We expect will be a total investment running into the hundreds of millions of kina over several years. It will look to train and equip smallholder farmers to produce stock feed, vegetables, and ultimately rejuvenate the coffee industry.
To succeed, we need the community support. This is agriculture, okay? We cannot do it inside the fence, okay? And this is an agro engagement program, and we need to get the communities on board. We have good experience in PNG in working with agros. We're working with hundreds and thousands of agros in Enga, in Hela itself.
40% is owned by the landowners. Another 40% is distributed, 10% to Tari District, 10% to Komamagarima District, 10% to Koroba Kopiago District, and 10% to the Hela Provincial Government districts.
So it is only fair that I partner them in the agriculture programs that we have in place. It is only fitting that we utilize the Komoya field we have. Naturally, when we give them the incentives, when we start to empower the people of Hela, they will naturally fit in, and then you will see them, they transform themselves, especially in the village and at the district level.
Second reason why we are happy, we believe that many people will be engaged to have them generate incomes for themselves and the rest of the communities within my district.
The Moresby South electorate remains keen on supporting entrepreneurs build their businesses. This was the assurance given by Moresby South MP Justin Chachenko when speaking at the official handover of the Puma service station at Koki to a new owner. Bay 49, the company that operates the Koki fish market, has officially been given management of the Koki Puma depot. The Koki fuel depot will operate 24 hours. Koki market was filled with excitement this morning as a sizable crowd gathered to witness the handover of the service station from Puma Energy to local SME Bay 49. Whilst this local SME had been operating the service station under an agreement utilizing Puma Energy fuel cards, as of today, the Koki service station will now accept cash payments as well, signifying the entrance of Bay 49 as a fully fledged service station under the Puma brand. According to Puma Energy General Manager Hulala Tokome, this venture by Bay 49 is a positive step for SMEs in the country, with Puma also keen on partnering with more SMEs in the fuel retail business.
Plenty time people look in this plan. The challenge now Geelong and make sure that you look out in business, you look out in money where you create in the business, look out in you yet.
Moresby South MP Justin Chachenko was also present and encouraged Bay 49 owner Geelong Alma to continue looking for opportunities to grow his business.
This is an example. I want all of you to be like Geelong. I want you all to work hard. I want you to all show initiative and work hard to be someone successful in your community.
NCD Governor Poas Pakop also called on the people of Moresby South to continue their support for SMEs such as Bay 49, which he said were critical to improving the lives of people in the National Capital District.
Many times it's hard for us to get our people to go into business and succeed. Government has been spending a lot of money on our people, in the past and even up to now.
For Bay 49 owner and managing director Geelong Alma, their entry into the competitive fuel retail business is one that will be challenging, but he is confident that with the support of a committed team, they will be successful.
Honesty, the commitment and big plus something. Our members all put in pennies. Governor talk pennies. 300 and head pen 120. And by now I'll pay you too. No side to stop you, believe it by you. You give more trust by you, commitment. You can use it. You can up a meal on up level.
Here with National EMTV News, we'll have more of the day's stories after these messages. Don't go away. Welcome back to the news. The Education Manager for Leh District, Kaumulaga, says money for school materials should be sent to schools rather than given to companies supplying the materials. This came after the government awarded a 19 million kina contract to a company for the second time to distribute school materials throughout the Momase region. Laga is urging the contractors responsible for distributing school materials to ensure they reach all the schools in the region.
MH Supplies Limited, a Chinese-owned company, will be supplying school materials to schools throughout the country. It was taken over from a locally owned company, Tokiwa Supplies Limited. The company was re-awarded a 19 million kina contract by the government last week. The same company was given almost 50 million kina last year to supply school materials to 3 regions in the country.
As I said, in the most part of the district in Morobe, and as I experience, the contractors go to the headquarters and they dump the materials there and they leave, and they want the district to deliver that material to the schools.
The government awarded 19 million kina to MH Supplies Limited to supply materials to 13,000 schools in the 4 regions in the country. 600 million kina was budgeted for the government's tuition fee-free education policy for this year. 19 million kina from these was awarded to MH for the supply and distribution. The 19 million kina represents the 30% of the TFF teaching and learning component for this year.
Students have to be asked to leave the school and come to the district headquarters to carry the materials to the schools. The next is that the materials that is supplied to the schools sometimes are not quality materials, okay? And of course, some schools, they don't need those materials.
Meanwhile, the Leh District Education Manager said the money should be given to them in order to take care of their own need. Laga said this will help them purchase essential materials, then being given what they already have that won't be put into good use. Julie Badui Oa, National EMTV News, Leh.
Up to 5,000 people in the Bulolo district are already registered under the National Identification Program and will be receiving their ID cards and certificates. Bulolo District MP Sam Basil says the district has been supporting the project to ensure that 100% of the Bulolo district is covered under the NID.
The National Identification Program was launched in the Yanta and Hangabu wards in Bulolo's Mumeng Rural LLG yesterday. These are wards within the Wafi project area.
When we came and started at the Wafi area, the landowners Hangabu and Yanta, because of the urgency of getting the NID processed here, because of the project fast-tracking of the development forum on the Wafi-Golpu project.
The certificates of up to 5,000 registered people in the Buang LLG were also delivered to Bulolo MP Sam Basil. Mr. Basil said the Buang LLG was the first area to be registered. With lessons learned, the district has now provided a vehicle and a driver to assist the work of the NID project within the Bulolo district.
Of NID, we want to make sure that the Bulolo district should be 100% covered by NID registration, and that's a commitment we make. We've covered one LLG already, and we are now into the second LLG.
NID's Registrar General Michael Kumon commended the efforts of the Bulolo district, saying partnerships were the way forward in ensuring that more people are registered under the NID project.
What the Morobe province is doing and what Bulolo district is doing is an example that I would request all other districts and provinces in the country to follow. Because getting everyone registered in the government program of the NID is not that easy.
By bringing the project and offices to the people, Mr. Basil says this will save villagers time and money spent on travelling to Leh to be registered. Officers are expected to start registrations next week with a population of less than 4,000 people to register. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
Kutmo Limited, a landowner company from Southern Highlands and Hela provinces, received a container of relief supplies from Telecom Foundation today. The relief supplies given to the earthquake-affected areas in Southern Highlands province were delayed due to logistical issues.
Telecom Foundation Incorporated, or TIF, with the support from Kumul Telecom Holdings, launched a donation box early this year, purposely to support relief programs.
Through this relief program, based on the issue that popped up in early this year, and that was the Cordova BM Islanders that had the volcanic activity happening on the islands, that pushed for us to launch a donation box. Now, that donation box today marks the end of it. We've already gone out and supplied the relief supplies to Denden Care Center, and that's in Wewak, or in the East Peak province, and that's where the BM Kadowa and the BM Islanders were relocated to. We went all the way there and delivered the relief supply, similar to what we're doing now today to the Southern Highlands team.
All food and clothing items will be delivered to the affected areas by end of this month.
Here today, the relief supplies comprises of both food rations, the rice, the canned meats, the noodles, the biscuits, and also we've packed biscuits and twisties that were donated by Paradise Foods Limited, which we are also thankful that they came on board early this year with supplying us a bulk load of that. So partial of those supplies went off to Wewak, and this is the other supply also coming through here. We've also packed in there about 50 bags of clothing. Now, in the clothing bag, they comprise of several different clothing items. They range from trousers to shirts, and caps and coats. So this was donated also to us. We received 10 bales of clothing from Badili Secondhand.
Kutmo manager Glenn Peep said that he was happy with TIF for being the first group to support Kutmo under its relief program. Mr. Peep said the aim of Kutmo is to make sure that its benefits were shared equally to the grassroots level.
So one of the objectives with the assistance of Oilsets was to form a representative landowner company that represents the areas that Oilsets operate in. So that's PDL5, PDL6, that's Moran, and then PDL2, and the pipeline areas. So in that way, we have one landowner company providing effective service to Oilsets especially. So our main customer or our main client is Oilsets.
Michelle Steven, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas now, the race to find survivors continues tonight after the collapse of a bridge in Italy that killed dozens. 26 is the official death toll at the moment. Authorities expect that number to rise. The 50-year-old bridge is located in the northern Italian city of Genoa with busy routes to northern France.
The terrifying moment a major four-lane highway breaks apart. This man yells, "Oh God, oh God," as the bridge, shrouded in fog and busy with traffic, suddenly gives way, cars and trucks plummeting to the valley below. It happened at around 11:30 a.m. during a heavy thunderstorm. In the aftermath, cars can be seen dangling, rescue crews hanging precariously, searching for survivors.
We are not working on a precise target number of missing people. We are estimating on the basis of the number of vehicles involved.
Those vehicles twisted among steel and concrete.
It is a bit like working on an earthquake.
Some were just seconds from disaster. This truck at the edge, still with its brake lights on. New Zealander Madison O'Dwyer is now thankful her tour bus was running late. She says had it been on time, her group could have been among those who fell.
Honestly, all night we've been talking about how it could have been us on the bridge.
In the thunderstorm, she heard another terrible sound as their bus travelled closer to the bridge.
It was like a thunderstorm, and there was a bang that was much louder than all the others.
Built in the mid-1960s as a faster route between the French and Italian Rivieras, the bridge was refurbished 2 years ago. But there are reports of safety concerns, and a maintenance team was on site the morning it came down. That team's activities now are a focus of the investigation into what went wrong.
I will do everything to get the names of the past and present managers, because it is unacceptable to die like that in Italy.
While many were killed, there were some miraculous survivors.
I flew for about 10 metres. I hit a wall and that's it. I don't remember anything else.
A miracle.
I think so. Look, I don't know what to say. I'm out of words.
Disbelief too from Italy's Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte.
This is a tragedy that has inflicted a serious wound, not only to the city of Genoa and the Liguria region, but to all of Italy.
Rescue crews working around the clock amid fears the death toll could rise.
You're watching National EMTV News. We go for a break now. When we come back, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Para-badminton is a Paralympic sport and is being introduced to Papua New Guinea. PNG now has the opportunity to adopt the sport and hopefully qualify for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
Para-badminton will debut in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and is an opportunity for people living with disability to learn the sport. Ian Bridge from Badminton Oceania is in the country showing the basics of the sport to participants.
I'm here, arrived on Monday, I go back on Friday, back to Australia, so the idea is to introduce the players over a 2-day workshop to badminton, talk about how we play the game and introduce them to the various shots and hopefully get them to have fun.
He said the sport was pretty much simple in rules and in equipment as well.
Wise, we use a racket. Shuttlecocks, they can be either plastic or feather ones, and all we need is a net and post from there. And whilst we haven't got a conventional badminton court here, we can actually show that we can be adaptable, and actually we're using a volleyball net and just lowered the height of the net to make it work from there. So my message really is for people, if they're looking to play badminton, actually you don't need much equipment, you don't need the best facilities, you can actually make it happen by just putting a net, post, and you're off.
He said badminton was a growing sport and held the opportunity of an Olympic sport prospect for any country.
Yeah, para-badminton is very much a growing sport across the world. It's now in the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics where it makes its debut. So from a para-badminton perspective, it's really exciting.
Not a bad start for participants, with bridge complementing the players' potential in the first day of the two-day workshop.
They're picking it up. None of them had played badminton prior to beginning the workshop, and many of them struggled to hit the shuttlecock. As you can see now, they're starting to hit it, and ideally if we can have a programme where they're playing regularly, they will soon pick it up. Some of them are clearly showing some natural talent there, and it'd be great if we can actually push and encourage them on their journey.
Bridge has been helping to spread the good word of badminton in the Pacific and hopes the sport can yield more teams from the region.
In this programme, hopefully participants enjoy it, and hopefully we'll continue to play para-badminton, and we're keen for Papua New Guinea to actually continue with its development of the programme.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
And Ian Bridge of Badminton Oceania says the sport can work towards a para-badminton qualification from the Oceania region for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, with the qualifiers starting in January 2019.
Ian Bridge of Badminton Oceania says there is still a chance for PNG Paralympians in the sport of badminton to qualify in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. He said with several tournaments before qualifications and the sport slowly moving into the Pacific region of Oceania, he believes there is still a chance for this nation.
The region of Oceania, we're actually hosting in Australia a first Para-Badminton Oceanic Championships in November this year, which is really good. So we're hoping to get participation from some of the Pacific Islanders, and hopefully Papua New Guinea will have somebody that can come and play in that event. The players actually need to compete in a number of internationals. The qualification starts next January and rolls on for about 15 months, and they need to compete in at least probably 5 or 6 international and get ranking points from there. We're certainly hopeful from an oceanic perspective. We'll have at least 2 participants from this region playing in the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics.
He said the hope lies in the support of the sport. Once introduced, it will need a holistic approach to keep the interest in the sport.
Yep, in relation to whether it be able-bodied or para-badminton, Papua New Guinea, there's no reason why it can't. It's certainly got a number of people who are very keen to actually help and promote the sport, which is great. So we just now need to get the message out. Badminton is there for all, and it's a great game. It's got many benefits, particularly for people with various disabilities, health-wise, well-being. It certainly reduces stress levels in life, and obviously gives them a release from there, and it's really positive.
He said there is a positive for the sport, with competitions for the able-bodied in schools to be introduced in PNG, which he says holds the key to growing the good sport of badminton.
Yep, they're looking at certainly some school competitions at the moment, and it'll be starting off kind of small, and obviously once we get the message out and more people start playing, there'll be more and more tournaments, and that is the key to driving it forward for a lot of people. They want the competition, so we need to sit there and put things in place to make sure the competition is there for them.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
The PNG National Snooker titles were launched today at the Lamana Q Club in Port Moresby. The launching was witnessed by players and sponsors of the tournament.
This year's Women's National Snooker title starts on Tuesday, the 4th of September, while the men's tournament cues off on the 11th of September. Only players from Port Moresby and Alotau are eligible to participate, as they are affiliated to the PNG Billiards and Snooker Association.
We anticipate other centres like Kavang, Kimby and Lay and other interested associations to affiliate so their players can participate.
Bank South Pacific has again sponsored the men's and women's tournament. This is the first time the Women's National Snooker titles will be held along with the men's.
Women's National Snooker title was previously held on its own around May each year. However, due to the loss of their major sponsor, we asked BSB to take on the women's title together with the men's to make it a national event. We are grateful that they have come on board to make it a special national event.
This is the 17th consecutive year of sponsorship by BSP towards the tournament, and today they presented a cheque of 40,000 kina. PNG BSA Acting President John Chen thanked BSP and other sponsors for their continuous support.
I'd like to acknowledge that these championships will be in memory of our President, Peter Fong, who will be dearly missed in these tournaments, but his legacy will live on. Thank you.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
And men's national snooker title champion Marcus Ning says he is looking forward to the tournament and is ready to defend his title. Ning has been the men's reigning champion for the past 3 years. He says he has not been training as much, but hopes to retain the title again this year.
To be honest, I got to put in a bit more table time. I haven't been playing well for the past couple of months, mainly due to lack of practice. So from now to then, probably there's another 4 weeks of preparation required. So hopefully I'll be able to put in a bit more time. Without a doubt, definitely I would put Dujon as well as Nathan Fong, one of the top competitors. However, I mean, snooker as a sport by itself, at the end of the day, it still pretty much depends on how well you play yourself. So that is, I would think, the key to re-securing the title.
And we'll have more of Trukai Sports after these messages. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Muay Thai classes on self-defense are being taught for free to the public as part of the Yoga Walk for Life program at the Tarama Aquatic Centre in Port Moresby. Firle Sukina with the details.
More than 300 participants are gathering for free to learn the sport of Muay Thai at the Tarama Aquatic Centre. They are part of 4 separate activities at the sports centre. A venue hired by UYET Limited, a part of Governor Powes Pakop's Yoga Walk for Life program. The instructor is Thomas Kagili of Chuave and Chimbu, an undefeated Muay Thai champion with 15 professional fight wins and no losses.
Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 to 12. But then most accounts in 300 plus or kickboxing. Maybe I get team inside Logam. Maybe like training yoga. After yoga season finish, maybe like divided into 4 groups. Kickboxing immediate chats. All dance group to stop, all drama group to stop, all yoga athletics team to stop.
He says the entry is free for all the public to attend 3 days a week, where his self-defense methods will help both men and women.
Girls we also go to school too, also animal safety blow. Now boys to one kind, also come animal self-defense blow safety blow.
The kickboxer is a true believer of discipline and wants his participants to quit the bad habits of smoking and chewing betel nut to be a true martial artist.
When I'm kaya boy, na smoke to lab, na drink beer to lab, but la martial arts me get big respect na discipline say. And lo me means I came boy, beer to means I drink because me say come up role model so good like example all youths blow me.
Michael Langapu is like all the other school-age children who turn up to train. He says he didn't make it into the formal education system, but has found his calling in the art of Muay Thai.
School elementary command up, grade 10, then we fail grade 10, we stop Laos, then we stop Laos, no me looking at education, then me looking sports.
Langapu now trains women and also sees improvements in his suburb of Hohola.
Ogada majority lo sa magikame mogada stala street nalka. So then mi lagi mo sa mol kame mi lani mol stop isi na all back amapos. Good lang magese now mi stable sablin stops.
Firle Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
And that's it for Trukai Sports. We go for a break. When we come back, the weather details for the next 24 hours. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
Look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Fine and windy for Daru and Kerma, mostly fine for the rest of the region. Tumamase, mostly fine for Ley City, cloudy for Wau, cloudy at times also for Madang, rain and showers expected in Wewak and Vanimo. to the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine for Lorengau and Kavieng, fine and windy for Kimbe, some showers expected in Kokopo and Rabaul, some rain and showers expected in Buka. And in the Highlands region, it'll be cloudy and cool for the major centers of Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg for the next 24 hours. I'll look at the forecast for small ships, but there is a gale wind warning. Very strong southeasterly winds of 34 to 48 knots are expected to continue for the next 6 to 12 hours, causing very rough seas and high seas. All small craft and boats are advised to take necessary precautions before or while going out to sea during this period of warning. And there is a strong wind warning current for the next 24 hours. Southeasterly winds of 25 to 34 knots are expected to continue. All small craft and boats are advised to take the necessary precautions before going out to sea during this period.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's the news, sport and weather for today, Wednesday the 15th of August 2018. On behalf of the entire EMTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.